agenda for 10 days from now. I can't believe we don't have more company here.
That's what happens.
Well, I don't think they understood.
Well, I'm kind of.
Well, a guy emailed me and he goes, well, there, you know, how come you're having the community meeting at 10 o'clock? And I go, there is no community meeting. You know, the only meeting is between Commissioner Dailey and myself, and so they were off to the races. But it wasn't a community meeting. You know, I mean, we're not trying to be ugly about it, but this is the only way the state says we can discuss stuff. All right, so it's going to be delayed another 6 months, right?
So, absolutely not.
All right,
This is,
and it's the property basically that way.
well, that way.
That way.
You see that over top of those trees, that last trees over there?
The far ridge.
Very far ridge.
Yes, correct, yes.
That's the slime right here.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
the county
it's-
line.
Yeah.
Yes, that's, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's county
Okay.
line.
All right. And
That
so
is-
in the property, yes, gotcha.
It will be property going this way.
Okay.
Right. This is the Val Grove Road going in
Okay.
right here.
And we are right,
Or over here.
we're over here, yes.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. What is this? Is that actually a lake?
No, it's
Is that like a little small?
they
They
actually
dug it
got-
out?
they
Dug
got
it
water
up?
down. I don't know who owns.
Spring? Okay. Go
Different,
ahead, yeah.
different person,
Yeah, okay.
different person owns that.
And this was all one tract of land from the same ownership? But they've
Family,
got it,
family.
but they've got it divided, right? In one thing, where it's talking about here and here?
Well, planning does. Planning
Yeah,
says
divide.
this is a hilltop ridge top,
Okay,
and they can only have 77, if I remember,
okay.
up there. This is 64 acres, and they say they can have up to 190 on this.
That's how they got to the 255.
That's how they got
Okay, gotcha, okay. And the
And this
current,
is 64.
the current proposal is how many units?
255.
255 still.
Recommended by planning.
Is this what they gave you?
They just laid them down there.
Oh, is this the same, are they all the same thing?
He handed that out.
One of their big concerns, or one of their concerns is that they think that they're gonna put, and they've already said that that ridge over there is gonna be bike trails, AMBC bike trails, hiking trails. They've already said that countless times.
Okay, now when you're
They
talking
think-
about, show me on here where you're talking about, where the bike trails would be over here?
On
No,
the-
show me on this thing right here. Right over here they're talking about? Because that's the high ground, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the way this map is drawn, it's up in here.
Okay.
I don't know why they've got,
Because they're showing you there's 255 houses within the yellow, and that Thunder
Oh,
Mountain
okay.
wants to put 255 inside the blue.
okay, this is
Okay.
going
This is the
across.
high ground here.
This is,
the high
yeah,
ground.
Okay.
yeah, this is Chapman Highway.
This is the high
So-
ground.
This
Okay.
is,
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I got you. All right, okay. All right, so,
their concern, one of the concerns from some of,
from the residents,
from the residents,
okay.
is that they're gonna put 255 down here. That ain't happening. It can't happen. The most, if you'll look at the piece that I handed out to you from planning,
It's like, it's one,
here on the ridge.
161?
Yeah, right here on the ridge top, it says maximum density is 77.3. That's on that ridge, which we're
Right.
not gonna build on.
Right.
So this one here, down at the 63.52 acres, maximum is 180.
Okay.
And that's what they can't put 255 there. They can only put 180 there at the max,
Okay.
period.
Well,
But they could, wait a minute, but it's still one tract of land, right?
It's 64 acres.
Okay, but can they not,
Okay. he's got the issue here.
Cluster.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is one application. When they
So-
get an approved density, they can put that density.
Wherever they want to. Because it's one tract of land.
Yeah.
So in other words, they could just say, I mean, they could take the first 10 acres and put everything, just jam them right in there.
If I make the motion to go with staff's recommendation, the most, this is the most they can put down is 180 in the 64. That's what it is.
I don't think they could.
If you want my opinion, what you're looking at is a density calculation.
Yeah.
That's the way that they look at it and say, okay, these slopes are this steep, you get one dwelling unit per acre here, this slope is a little
Daniel,
less
if I
steep.
make the motion that no more than 180 can be built on the lower 64 acres, it's
Okay.
done.
Okay, but then what do we do about nothing on the ridgetop, bike trails on the ridgetop? I mean, you're leaving if you approve planning commission recommendation at 255 and then say only 180 on the 64 acres, where do the rest of the units go if the ridgetop is that bike trails?
It's just like any other zoning that's up to 5. You take Serenity Village there, it was approved for 3 per acre. They only built it out at 1.5 per acre. So where did the other 1.5 go?
So the only way to
That goes for every piece of property. That's not just this property, that goes
right,
for every piece of property.
there's some slack involved in between the maximum density and the build-out density because you have to install utilities and roads and et cetera, et cetera. But the only way to limit development on the 64 acres to 180 is to approve it at 180 total units.
Yeah, you'd have to take all the total tract of land by units, yeah, because I remember years ago on Hardin Valley.
So if you're saying that,
And maintain this idea of bike trails on the ridgetop or whatever the understanding is about the ridgetop. Because if you say 255, they're going to put the 255 wherever they
can get it.
But, yeah.
they're not gonna be able to put 255 down in that lower part.
I mean, you just approved one at 18 an acre. I mean,
This is
they
in
can-
the rural area, 3 per acre. You
Yeah,
can't put,
I know, but you can still cluster them.
You can still
Yeah.
Because
cluster, yeah.
I'm trying to remember something, there's one I remember from years ago in Hardin Valley, in south side of Hardin Valley, where it was up against a mountain. And I wanna say it was like 40 acres but basically, they were just gonna put all the homes in the flatland.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, what about later? Can they go, well, no, because they're using up the total amount right here. But you're not using the total amount.
Yeah.
You're only using 2/3 of the amount. You're saying, okay, 180 units today, but 5 years from now, they can go to this property and put, what was it, 65?
Another 180.
Huh?
77
more up
77
here,
acres.
5 years from now.
So
So you
another
get the
180.
255.
they can get to 77 already because it's on agriculture, 1 per acre. They can get to 77 now.
Yeah, but it's one tract of
Minimum lot
land.
size.
It's not 2 tracts of land. So
Exactly.
what they can do is just totally not do any.
They would have to put the 77 acres on the individual lots.
Exactly,
It
that's
would
what
be
I'm
a
saying.
minimum lot size.
They're not gonna put 255 down in the bottom.
They could if you approved it at the staff recommendation.
Yeah. No.
Yes, because
Yeah.
Carson, okay, because it's one solid tract. Forget that it's
Yeah.
divided up by this. Forget the division. You got one tract of land that MPC says you can put 255 homes on. They don't care where you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That comes at use on review.
Okay, but if they've been approved for 255, how are they going to turn them down for 255? So in other words, they come with use on review. They put homes all the way up, and could even put some right in here to get 255, and forget this portion right here because it's one tract of land.
it's divided on
See,
this because
forget
this-
about, you
this
gotta
falls
forget
under
about
hillside
this.
ridge
You
shots.
gotta just say, okay, this was a recommendation.
That's what
This is not
it's
concrete.
divided up.
This just is how they got to a number of 255.
The
But
slope analysis.
in fact, if they wanted to, they could put all 255 if they could get
Yeah,
it right in
right
here.
here.
If they could somehow jam it in and still provide utilities and driveways and everything
that's what
else.
Dry
That
Hall is
slope
worried about.
analysis and the density calculation that's based on the slope analysis does not dictate where units go.
Right.
Daniel, doesn't matter on this property or whose property. If we make, the motion is made that no more than a certain amount to be put on that piece of property, and it goes, and it passes, it's set. They cannot go more than that on that 64 acres or 3 acres or.
Whoa.
10
There is no
acres.
division. What is the total acreage here? 153? No,
Yeah.
what you're good, the motion's gonna be, I'm gonna do 100 and, what'd you say, 80 homes?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
180.
80? You're gonna do 180 homes on 150 acres. That's what the motion has to be, because that's what the total property is.
Right.
If you want to
You
limit,
can't divide it based on this, because there is no natural division.
Right.
There's nothing, this guy owns 150 acres. Yeah, so the guy owns 150 acres. The only way to say it is, instead of so many dwelling units per acre, just say, we'll allow only 180 homes on 150 acres.
That's it.
That's it. Then it's a done deal, it's codified, they can't do anything 25 years later with this here.
Right.
Because there is no natural division.
Yeah.
Because he bought it all.
He
put it
bought
all-
the whole thing.
He put it all together as one parcel.
Right.
Are we making, do you
So
see what I'm
they're-
saying?
Yeah, so they can subdivide, all they gotta do is take that ridge top off.
No, they don't want, they don't want to
It's still,
subdivide.
it's still.
Why would you subdivide?
Take 64 times 3 is what?
it's about 100.
Okay,
It's 180,
Okay,
so
okay.
all they gotta do is
yeah,
take
no,
that
but why
off.
would you go to the expense of subdividing this? You want to own one tract of land and tie it in together, so that way if you made amenities for your people here, if they want walking trails, it can be covered under their same insurance policy and all that. You don't want to make 2 tracts of land, you want to keep 1 tract of land.
And typically developers will want to get a larger parcel, so they get the
Constant.
number of lots
Right.
that they want,
Yeah.
because they can cluster the development. If the larger the parcel and you say 3 per acre, that's more houses that they can put on usable land.
That's why they
That's
included
why they
that
didn't
95
subdivide.
acres.
Right.
Because the
Because it originally
first
wasn't in there.
recommendation was planning, or when they went through the process to begin with, they didn't get enough units on the lower part. And they added 95 so they could siphon units off
Yeah.
and stick them down
So-
the lower part.
So, what is Thunder Mountain's position that you're aware of as far as how many homes they want to put on this entire tract?
180, no more than 180.
Okay,
The
so
90.
then what the recommendation would be is
And
that.
that makes, that number will probably change because of, when you put the roads in and all that,
Okay.
it could be less than that.
So,
And your motion would
on-
be no more than.
And this is, for tax purposes, this is as one tax ID number,
Right.
right? Okay, so the parcel would be for the 150 acres, that no more than 180 dwelling units. Boom. Discussion over.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Because they might want to go and put, did NPC make this the dividing line between the two?
They
The-
just
they-
looked at this differently because
Yeah,
it falls
but I
under
mean, could you not put
subdivision.
homes right here, or is that just too
No.
intense? You gotta,
It's-
it's just, okay,
They're not gonna,
Straight up.
still,
yeah.
It's
When
straight
you,
up, yeah.
when you get right here, it's like this, right?
okay.
Yeah.
Now, would that keep everybody happy then, because you get 180 homes? No, would that keep everybody, they want 100, how many?
I think my folks have written a letter, and I don't have authority to say.
Yeah, but I mean,
My folks have written a letter that they think 145 would be.
okay, that was, the number.
Because
Okay.
if everybody understands that there's not going to be any houses built on the ridge top, all the houses are going to be built down in the field. They feel like 180 homes, 3 per acre, is just not consistent with what's already there.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
obviously, you're around here, you don't see subdivisions like that on this side.
Right.
Yes.
River Pike
Okay.
or Chapman Highway.
So their
the
position,
maximum would be, the maximum build-out density that you would think you would ever see is 180. And so the compromise is something south of that between the one dwelling unit per acre and 180. And the 145 was essentially 2.5 on the 64 is how we got to that number.
But when,
Okay, that was-
but when y'all met with Thunder Mountain, they didn't wanna come off anything,
The
right?
255.
Right. And y'all did have a meeting, you and Taylor and,
Taylor and
Your
I have,
people and-
Taylor and I have exchanged emails. We met here one day with a representative from Thunder Mountain and my people.
okay.
Larson was here.
Yeah, and that
It was
email
cold. It
from,
was cold.
that email from,
That typically travels.
that
with Larson
email
over
was
there.
No,
false.
it was the weather. Pardon?
That email from Brad Russell's false, where he said they've not met with Thunder Mountain.
He was not at that meeting
Well,
on
then he-
purpose. Because
was he here today?
He was.
Oh, he didn't introduce himself.
I didn't see Brad today.
I thought I saw him standing right there in the lead.
No, that
That
wasn't,
wasn't Brad, he looked like it.
no,
I don't know him.
I figured he'd come
no,
up
that
and
wasn't
introduce
Brad.
himself.
Brad hadn't been here this morning.
Man,
He's gotta work.
he's tore up about this.
Yeah. Emotional. Land use is the most
land-
emotional.
Okay, so.
I mean, cause he was the tenant farmer. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
So,
He's got blood, sweat, and tears in it.
okay, the community wants 145. Your position is 180 and the developer is 255 still?
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Which that's what planning says.
They
says
can
it
have.
be, yeah.
But realistically, if they putting in roads and driveways and all that, you probably can't get more than,
I don't know, that's, I have no idea.
So yeah, I think if you approve 255, you're gonna have more than 188 units on the field level.
I charged this thing up last time.
I know mine's.
Okay.
Which, and to you, planning commission, they should have already looked at, had this discussion, and they
Yeah.
didn't, and said that it doesn't align with what is there. I mean, they didn't check off all the boxes. They never
Yeah.
did, honestly.
Well, and Taylor wasn't involved during the NPC process.
It was
I mean,
just
this-
the community?
No, it was,
Yeah, this shouldn't be
the
y'all's
guy-
decision.
Campbell.
Planning commission should have already
Bob-
done
oh,
its
Robert
due
Campbell,
diligence,
right.
and they didn't.
it was just Robert Campbell and until the meeting at Don's house.
No, I don't want to monopolize the last minute here. You all started out talking about the budget,
Yeah.
and I want to make a really high level point. These decisions, these land use decisions, do impact your
Oh,
budget.
no.
There's no question about it.